Oh look, a shooting star. Let's make a wish. I wish humans don't become the cause of human race's extinction.
A few moments later.
First of all, what is a desangel? What should we even call them? Creatures? Listeners? Desangels? Can you believe the directors of the movie named them Happy? Okay, for the rest of the video, we call them Happies. Lore accurate. So what is a Happy? Happies are an alien species that lived on a planet in outer space without light. That's why they don't have any eyes, but they have phenomenal hearing. They hunt with sounds or maybe just attack things that produces noise because it hurts their hearing systems. What a misunderstood creature. Their planet had far stronger gravity than Earth, so they developed so much strength that when they are on a lower gravity planet like Earth, it gives them ability to run at a speed of almost 220 kilometers or 130 miles per hour since they couldn't catch up with this car. Their skin is so tough that we don't know what can penetrate it. At least we know that no small arms can. Maybe shape charged warheads like those used to penetrate tank armor or sabot rounds from tanks could potentially pierce their skin. However, because they are so agile and slender, it's almost impossible to hit them with those types of armament. Since they survived the destruction of their planet and crashing on Earth, explosions and fire can't scratch their armor either. However, due to their dense, heavy armor, they will drown, but they can move and walk underwater. So rivers can't stop them, but they can't cross seas and lakes. We're also not sure if they'll suffocate underwater. They consume oxygen as their blood is red, but we don't know how long it takes for them to suffocate. They also have a strong immune system, as we never hear about them getting illnesses from Earth's microorganisms. This suggests their planet likely contained lots of harmful microbes. Directors call them the peak of evolution. Speaking of evolution, since they're overpowered for Earth, they might eventually evolve to get weaker and less powerful. However, evolution typically takes thousands to millions of years, at least on Earth. Also, they might lose some power before even evolving, just like a athlete who don't train again and got retired. His muscles will lose mass and strength since he don't use that much power, and that's what will happen to aliens that lived on a high gravity environment and now are in a low gravity environment, just like what happens for astronauts. However, it won't reduce that much of a strength and probably takes a few years. Evolution turns organisms into survival machines capable of thriving on minimal calories. Such power would demand a lot of calories. So how do they get their needed calories? By eating a fungi-like organisms. Some people call these plants, but they're not, as plants need sunlight to photosynthesize to survive. Happies hunt other creatures and use them as a fertilizer for these fungi, just like leafcutter ants. They use everything as fertilizer to grow fungi in their colonies to feed on. Alright, enough nerdy combat biology lessons. Let's think about how we can fight them. Yep, that's right. We're not going to live in silence and keep living a pathetic life. We must take our planet back. It's not about survival at any cost. It's about sending an intergalactic message. I've told you almost everything you need to know about them. Now let's talk about exploiting their weaknesses. They find their prey with sounds, but they apparently also navigate with sonar just like bats, and use it to detect motions and movements of their prey. Sensitive hearing and sonar? Both can be disrupted by high-frequency sounds. Their sonar can also be disrupted by other things, like heavy rain and strong electromagnetic fields. Sounds below 30 to 40 decibels don't trigger them, as nature usually produces sounds at this level. If they reacted to that, they'd be busy with literally everything and wouldn't mind you. Their hearing system is vulnerable to high-pitched, high-frequency sounds. If the frequency isn't high enough, it just annoys them and makes them attack the source. If it's higher, it's put them into a defensive stance. If both frequency and pitch are high enough, along with the volume, it puts them under so much pressure and pains that they lose control over armor panels on their heads, pretty much like a seizure, or even pass out. And that's when you send the message. But how high should the frequency be? At first, I thought it was ultrasonic, but normal speakers can produce that level, so it wasn't ultrasonic. Though ultrasonic sound might be effective against happies, I estimate it's about 16,000 Hz, since for most adults, it's highest frequency they can hear, and adults in the movie heard that. Don't forget the pitch, it also should be high, and if it's as loud as 120 decibels, it's enough for them. So what do you need to fight them? Before we get into that, if you liked the video so far, please smash that subscribe button. Here's how to make your battle rig. Choose a pickup truck, preferably an insurgent-approved Toyota Hilux. Add wrong flat tires, so if you got flat tires on the way, you still can get the rig and yourself to safety. Add a generator and some car batteries. In case anything happens to the generator, you'll have a backup power source to get back to your safe house. Add big speakers on all 4 sides of the truck. Add some reinforcement to the speakers. Get a laptop or phone to playing the sounds of the speakers. And arm yourself with some firepowers like a pump action or preferably a reliable semi-auto shotgun. Or an AR-15 preferably loaded with fine ammo. In the movie, we saw that even a metal pipe swung by a 12-year-old girl or a 38 caliber revolver could neutralize the creature if the armor plate was open. But it doesn't make sense, especially with the pipe. I mean, neither the pipe nor the gill was strong enough to penetrate the Happy's skull. If you want a sidearm, go for something big. A revolver or a 10mm semi-auto pistol is good, but whatever you choose, it better be accurate and have an optic, as aiming for the head is tricky. Have multiple people on the rig, like 2 people on the cabin, a driver and a backup driver, and multiple people on the cargo area, all armed with the weapons I mentioned. Give everyone a helmet in case anyone falls or ride is bumpy. Everyone should have headsets, because with the speakers, it will be too loud to communicate with each other. Use something like tactical headsets that soldiers and operators use in gunfights. They have both hearing protections and comms. Don't forget to have extra fuel for the rig, and big headlights for possible low light conditions. If you are going to a happy hive, then bring a 50 BMG rifle, a jackhammer, some containers of sulfuric acid and gas mask, and some shaped jars. So, you're ready to send a message to the alien invaders by purging them from the area. Remember, no Xeno. You and your homies first start the speakers, then start the engine. So in case there's a Happy nearby, she won't eradicate you all before you get the speakers going. You take the rig to the streets, and the first Happy finds you. Because of the sounds, it won't come close enough for you to neutralize it. So you stop the speakers, it charges at you, then you start it again. The Happy screams in agony, opens its plates, and you take a shot. You keep doing this multiple times in the area to finding all Happies around, and after a while, no Happy remains to come at you. You find a lair with a giant Happy in it. Be careful, if there is remaining Happies, they will come to defending the queen. You go there with the rig and neutralize the queen, but not with a shotgun or an AR-15, but with a 50 BMG rifle, since she got a stronger skull. You can destroy the fungi they feed on, although you can try fungicide. But since there are no Happies to fertilize them, they eventually die. If you found Happy eggs, use a jackhammer to neutralize it. Or pour some sulfuric acid on it. Just make sure you put your gas mask on before using sulfuric acid. If it didn't work, you need shaped jars, whether from anti-tank missiles and rockets or other types. And that's how you can fight the Happies, the alien invaders. The US military in the movie can take notes. Thanks for watching.